Okay. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Environmental Justice Now. My name is Leah Jones, and I am the organizing coordinator and water justice organizer here at Virginia Interfaith Power and Light. Um, so, before we get started today, as usual, I'd like to do a very brief land acknowledgement. While we are on a video call and many of us are joining in from different places, it's critical to remind ourselves that we gather on the unceded land of the indigenous peoples. I'm joining in from so called Richmond, Virginia, and I'm currently located on the land of the Powhatan and Chickahominy peoples. So if you are unsure whose land you are on and you would like to find out and learn more, you can always visit native-land.ca to check it out and see where you are, whose land you are on. So once again, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Great Outdoors Month. As we all know, summer is approaching very quickly, right? And June is National Great Outdoors Month. So, Great Outdoors Month celebrations are happening throughout June with National Get Outdoors Day on June 10th, tomorrow. And National Get Outdoors Day is held on the second Saturday in June. And this is a huge nationwide event coordinated by the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable and the U.S. Forest Service, just to start us out. And I think it is quite interesting, actually, how timely that the month of June is actually Great Outdoors Month, calling attention to the beauty of our planet Earth and the well being of our outdoors pretty much not even a week after Biden has approved a dirty deal fast tracking the Mountain Valley Pipeline and an outbreak of devastating wildfires, as I'm sure everyone has heard, coming out of Canada only a few days after that decision was made. So, all of us here on the East Coast have, of course, I'll speak for myself, have been shaken by these wildfires. It's something that we're very much not familiar with here on the East Coast, especially here in Virginia. So, knowing it's actually been so bad that local officials have issued rare code purple alerts, meaning that the air was so unhealthy and so dangerous that for everyone that we couldn't go outside, or we had to at least be cognizant, provided a warning that our air quality was so bad and at risk for all of us, not just for folks with respiratory issues, which a lot of the times we associate with poor air quality, right? And so this warning did not only apply to people, which is, I think, a funny thought as well. Our animals, the Smithsonian National Zoo actually had to be closed, and many of the animals were actually kept inside. And the Washington Post, an article written by Eugene Robinson, made it clear that the situation was actually even worse in Philadelphia, where air quality went all the way to code maroon, so past purple. Very scary, right? This means it was hazardous and to stay indoors altogether. I know many of us were out and about still, some without a mask, but many of us with a mask. So imagine what a code maroon would have been like. And that was here under a code purple. So imagine what a code maroon would have been like. And he goes on to mention that perhaps worst of all, it was even worse in New York, where on Wednesday the sky was an eerie and what he terms a post apocalyptic shade of orange, which I think is a perfect description of some of the pictures that I hope many of us have been seeing coming out of New York following these wildfires. So, considering, in addition to us taking all these standards and precautions and warnings about our air quality, including having to be cognizant of the wildlife in areas like zoos, imagine what farmers with their livestock or even families at home with loved pets might have been impacted, how they might have been impacted by all of this as well. And I even just on a personal note, my sister even has, along with some of my other friends who have allergies, found that these poor conditions in our air quality have, of course, made their symptoms so much worse. My sister alerted me just a couple days ago that the air quality actually induced her asthma. which I'm sure many others with similar health conditions can relate to and speak to, being very noticeably impacted by these wildfires and the quality of our air. And I know this was actually quite a rather unfortunate reminder and wake up call, I think, to all of us that we do, in fact, share this one earth and we are much more connected than we even think to consider on a day to day basis. And with our environment on earth, what may be felt on one place will definitely be felt in others as well. And just as we've seen the effects of our largest contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions, contributing to the negative impacts of climate change, with results of those impacts being felt by some of our globe's most vulnerable neighbors, include with all sorts of things, right, that we see on the news every day. Things, totally tragic weather events, with events from things like typhoons to crippling drought seasons. And I think climate change in the past few decades has been much easier, of course, as we all, many of us who have been keeping up have recognized. It's been so easy for the past few decades for our greatest contributors of climate change, like the United States, to continue to ignore the realities of climate change. But I believe it is becoming clearer each day. And the Canadian wildfires have shown us this, that climate change is quite literally something that we can no longer ignore, especially because it is no longer only affecting our most vulnerable communities across the globe, but everyone, our affluent, politically and powerful communities as well. We're all in this together, and we all have to do our part, especially our federal, state, and local leaders, local elected leaders, by the way, need to show up in this dire time with a consistently closing window to take and make positive, impactful change so that we can actually have a world left to enjoy for generations to come. This is not something we can avoid anymore. We have to develop solutions, and we have to stick to those solutions and follow through with plans that will create positive outcomes for us, for our most vulnerable neighbors, especially, but for everyone as well, right? And with all of that being said, I don't think National Great Outdoors Month could have come at a better time to draw attention to all of these issues and hopefully inspire action in our communities locally, as well as impactful positive action as a nation as well. And to celebrate this month, on a lighter note, there are a few ongoing events and programs, initiatives offered by National Parks and Forests, as well as some locally here in the state of Virginia. And I have just a few of those upcoming events to share with you now. So, several national forests offered a fee free day. So, no fare, no fee to enter the park, to encourage people to get outside and celebrate with them this month. Specifically, the celebrations kicked off on June 3rd, earlier this week, with National Trails Day. National Trails Day was actually the first Saturday in June, and recognizes, or yes, and recognizes the benefits provided by federal, state, and local trails. So events were being held throughout the U.S. to promote the awareness of these trails. There was even a National Trails Day here in Virginia, where people were able to do all sorts of things on the trails, of course, like hiking, mountain biking, bird watching, as well as land navigation education. So there's, in addition to those events, there are quite a few others happening throughout the state, including festivals to celebrate this month. And you can check out the rest of those on the Department of Conservation and Recreation website. I will put that link in the comments here for everyone to check out if you're interested in seeing what the state of Virginia is up to celebrate National Great Outdoors Month. You can check that out there, including all different. And on the list, there's all sorts of fun activities and events for people to get involved with, including even some festivals and music festivals for people to attend and enjoy our great outdoors. So, in addition to June being National Great Outdoors Month, June is actually also a time here in Virginia, and across the states who cater to or feed into the Chesapeake Bay. This is a time for us to acknowledge how beautiful our Chesapeake Bay is with Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week. So this week is officially from June 3rd to the 11th. So we're currently in the midst of Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week. And this is truly a time to celebrate the cultures, history, and just the natural beauty of the nation's largest estuary. And in case you didn't know, the Chesapeake Bay is the United States' largest estuary, which is quite the award. I feel like Virginia here has some bragging rights because we do have the bay, which is such a beautiful resource here, and just a beautiful waterway that we need to make sure we're protecting and uplifting and making sure we're catering to it, right? So during this week, there are various online and in-person events, volunteer opportunities, and social media conversations for everyone to participate in and celebrate the Chesapeake Bay. I know many of us, a lot of the times, the way we celebrate the Bay maybe could be through seafood or even enjoying things like boating, fishing, all that good stuff is definitely a huge part of the culture here in Virginia. So you can actually check out some of the ongoing events that are happening as a part of this Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week at this link here. The Chesapeake Bay Foundation actually, in conjunction with the Chesapeake Bay website itself, have put together a list of events for folks to check out during this week and throughout the month of June in order to celebrate the Bay and all of its amazing wildlife and opportunities for recreation and promotion to our economy that it provides here in the state of Virginia and the other areas that the Bay runs through. So you can check that out. I put that link in the comments as well. And ultimately here at Virginia Interfaith Power and Light, we are working to build a world where everyone feels welcome and has access to enjoy the great outdoors, including the Chesapeake Bay and other sources, other entities, and nature like the bay itself, in addition to our beautiful trails and state parks, local parks, all of these things. So we're hoping that you all are able to join the nationwide movement to give back and enjoy the great outdoors this month, along with our Chesapeake Bay. And ultimately, my hope is that we all also use this month to pour more efforts into cherishing and protecting the sacred planet in whatever ways we can. So make sure you take advantage of the ongoing events this month to celebrate and spend all the time you can to take in the beauty of this planet that we are privileged to call home. So, as usual, thanks so much, you all, for tuning in to another episode of Environmental Justice Now. You can keep up with us as usual at this link by joining and becoming a supporter if you have not already. Once again, I'll be putting that in the comment section for you to join if you have not already. But I'll be back again next week, same time, same place, hopefully discussing what it means and what it looks like as a young climate activist, or youth climate activism, particularly with a few local teen groups who are doing the work. So hope to see you back for that episode next week, same time, same place again. And everyone, have a great weekend and get outside and enjoy this weather, especially now that smoke is clearing. So have a great weekend. Bye.